¿Pero para qué?
Pues because it's good. I like what you talk.
What's it called?
Surviving death.
Surviving death.
Yeah. It's very
On
interesting.
Netflix.
Yeah.
De que
Surviving
I ended
death.
up, huh?
Cabrona.
Cabrón.
Tell us a little
Cabrón,
bit more.
cabrón.
It's about people who have a near-death experience.
But they don't actually die. The ego doesn't get them.
They eventually come back. I guess you can say that the ego does get them because they come back.
Bueno,
But they
otherwise
come
they
back
will
with,
not be talking.
they come back a little bit more purified, ¿verdad? Se purifican un
Yeah.
poco.
Yeah, actually, it's bringing the angle that these people need some kind of counseling, like any kind of group that has been traumatized because they don't know how to deal with life after knowing what they
Yeah.
experience. And they cannot relate to the world, and they don't, they have many problems then dealing with life, with the experience, having had the experience, and then coming back and having to be around a lot of people that are unaware totally of the experience, and they have these groups of support. And I mean, that group in Seattle, I think that in that room, all of them had have been dead and come back, and there were more than 70, and they have a society that has like thousands of people that receive counseling in that aspect.
I was unaware that humans actually knew how to live prior to having a near-death experience very well.
Now you're showing off.
No. I ended up last night, after listening to more of, I think this is what triggered it, because there was no series of conscious events that were unfolding to arrive at where I was towards the end of the evening. But with Ken Wapnick's conference on art and the Course in Miracles, or A Course in Miracles, and he just brings, like I was saying the other day, music and the way it touched him to the ears, and other performing arts, as well as just art in general, and how it relates, or how the Course of Miracles relates to what that essence of pure art comes across as. And so I was on YouTube last night, and I ended up with 3 or 4 videos of people sort of in that zone that is probably like a near-death experience. You know, they're not present. They seemingly have connected with something much deeper within them. And this is what I was hearing out of Ken's talk. And I think I was towards the end, I just thought, I'm gonna pull these videos as I find them together, and I'm just gonna put an email together and just talk, a few words about beauty, and put them all together and just send it. I don't know to who, you guys probably, but I was just really
Lovely. That would be lovely.
I mean, there's a little bit of classical music in there, Astrid, so sorry.
I'm fine with it. I'm beginning not to have specific, preferences with music, whatever comes up. I mean,
well, it's way beyond the music anyway. It's way beyond the music.
Yeah.
It's that place that they tap into, or they're taken to, or transported to, or whatever. And,
yeah, they enter the present moment through the expression of art, of music. Yeah, and I really, I really resonate with that because I understand that. And it's a place where in the world we call it like when the muse hits, when you
Being in the zone.
being in the zone, and it happens to athletes.
Yeah.
It takes you to, the physical form. It seems like they're doing something, but it's a type of like you can call it maybe meditation or just, yeah. I gave him the supposed tranquilizer or whatever.
Oh, it's working well.
Yes, it's working well, doesn't it?
You just doing a test run?
I'm doing a test run. There
Good.
you go.
Apparently not enough yet.
I guess I'm gonna have to go back to that. See, no, this is like a medical testing place. Lilo. Silencio, mi amor. Ven. You're supposed to be drugged.
Well, maybe he is, and that's just a new Lilo.
Ya, tranquilo. But yeah, that zone is there's no time doesn't seem to pass in that zone.
No.
I've had experiences of that. And you don't feel tired, and you don't feel like the bodily symptoms of hunger or thirst.
See.
It like takes you out of body. It's an out of body experience.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it was actually inspired by that movie Soul, because that was a big part of that movie, is that place where artists go and they actually create. Have you seen the movie yet?
We
Astrid?
haven't, no.
No. There's a place where they kind of create an animated image of where artists go, sort of in this universe. And they're all floating around, in this sort of bluish haze of sorts. And they're all in their little place, and they're just, it's just
enjoy.
Yeah. Of course, it's a lot more difficult to show in athletes, it's as an expression, but yeah. Anyway, that's where I ended up last night.
Good.
Gentleness.
Yeah, we're on section 4, a manual for teachers. We're not section 4. We're in like section A and whatever. Development of trust. What is this? This is
Characteristics
what?
of God's
Yeah,
the characteristics.
The characteristics of God's teachers. This morning when I was to connect to Adriana, I was like, every day it's like, where did I leave this off? Where am I going? What am I doing?
Same
here. So we're, gentleness, one of the characteristics of God's teachers.
Listo. Listo.
See?
Harm is impossible for God's teachers. They neither harm nor be harmed can. Harm is the outcome of judgment. It is the dishonest act that follows a dishonest thought. It is a verdict of guilt upon a brother and therefore on oneself. It is the end of peace and the denial of learning. It demonstrates the absence of God's curriculum and its replacement by insanity. No teacher of God but must learn, and fairly early in his training, that harmfulness completely obliterates his function from his awareness. It will make him confused, fearful, angry, and suspicious. It will make the Holy Spirit's lessons impossible to learn. Nor can God's teacher be heard at all, except by those who realize that harm can actually achieve nothing. No gain can come of it. Therefore, God's teachers are wholly gentle. They need the strength of gentleness, for it is in this that the function of salvation becomes easy. To those who would do harm, it is impossible. To those to whom harm has no meaning, it is merely natural. And what choice but this has meaning to the sane? Who chooses hell when he perceives a way to heaven? And who would choose the weakness that must come from harm in place of the unfailing, all-encompassing, and limitless strength of gentleness? The might of God's teachers lies in their gentleness, for they have understood their evil thoughts came neither from God's Son nor his Creator. Thus did they join their thoughts with him who is their source, and so their will, which always has his own, is free to be itself. Which always was his own.
¿Tú tienes el libro en español?
Sí. You want me
Quería
to
saber qué palabra le da.
the
Solo
palabra
la
de,
palabra.
she wants me to look this up in
Yeah.
Spanish.
Because gentleness is usually translated as gentileza, but that is not the word that is translated here.
Mansedumbre.
So, meekness.
Mansedumbre.
Meekness, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a subtleness there, the definition. Yeah, what I got when you were reading it, the part that says it is the dishonest act that follows a dishonest thought. I think the definition of dishonesty here is different than what we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
Like from the ego's part.
See, it's the definition that Gary provided when he said that for him it was more like the dishonesty of not being who you are,
Mhm.
which is believing in being the ego.
Not being true to self.
Yeah, and when we're in that state of dishonesty, we can't. And it said we can't do our function.
Only egos function. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's really what it says to me is it's just speaking of being in that level of dishonesty, just being in constant ego. You know, there's just, you couldn't see the truth of God if it was standing in front of you or standing within you
Mm-hmm.
or standing as you.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to be brutally honest with what we've been doing to ourselves. Not as a mechanism to create more guilt, but as a way to dissolve it. And seeing what we've been doing. Yeah, to wake up. Seeing how we've been dishonest to ourselves in defining ourselves contrary to how God has defined us and how we were created. And trying to find purpose and meaning in a world that has no purpose and meaning. So Adriana and I were reading the part of the course at the beginning. It just talks about like the only function, the only profession that we can have, or true profession is the, ¿cómo se dice expiación en inglés? The
Atonement.
to accept our role
Atonement.
in the plan of atonement.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we can only be truly useful once we've accepted that. And part of the accepting that, I think that a prerequisite is to recognize and see what we've been doing to ourselves, so that we can actually then take part in the atonement, which is the miracle of forgiveness.
I think also dishonesty, as it's arising here, tends to operate or come from a place of intent that is driven by ego. Whereas the dishonesty that's spoken here is certainly from ego, but it doesn't necessarily carry an intent about being dishonest. It's an ignorance. You know, for most of the population, not really knowing what the truth of God's presence is. And so they just continue to live out this egoic drama. So it has in some ways, a more passive role in humanity's life, as opposed to, someone who's being intentionally dishonest.
Yeah, because it's gentle and it doesn't harm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and so these characteristics, it's interesting also it rises in certain traditions, like maybe Buddhism with the Eightfold Path, or they've got all these different ways of being. They seem to, and maybe I'm off on this, maybe I'm not correct, but they tend to live life trying to manifest these values as a way of living. So I'm going to be honest. Well, the moment, of course, we attempt to be honest, we aren't being honest. So this in the Course is coming around the other way. And it seems to be talking about these attributes that naturally arise when we are in this presence of truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's
nothing to do. It happens. No, it arises naturally.
So these characteristics they aren't spoken as something that we need to become. They're just spoken as, perhaps even on some scale, I don't hesitate to even say this, but kind of like when we think we want to find out where we are on the ladder. If I have this characteristic, this is where I am. When in fact, I think the rungs on that ladder move all over the place depending on our presence, our availability to truth. Some moments we can be seemingly very high on the ladder just by where we've connected within the truth of ourself. Another time we've gotten caught by ego. So it's almost like an escalator. It just moves up, or an elevator. We sort of move up and down until we stabilize. Until we stabilize in that presence.
Yeah, the ladder metaphor is helpful for us while we're believing in the illusion, believing in stages and in hierarchies. But once we supposedly get there, we're gonna see that we were never on that ladder, that we were always there.
Yeah.
It's just a recognition of who we really are and what we are. And seemingly we're going through stages of it. It's just once it those stages aren't what we are, because we are constant. Like our true self is always constant, and it doesn't move up or down. It's always constant. But since we believe in this illusion, we've fabricated this illusion, and it has levels. The spirit comes in and uses what we fabricated. It's like, okay, this is what you made up, and I'm going to use it as a mechanism, as a tool to, instead of winding you more into this belief system, I'm going to unwind you from this so that you know who you truly are.
Mm. Mm.
And you know, once we, and the only thing that is required is our willingness to allow that to happen. And automatically, you know, the forgiveness starts to happen, and these characteristics aren't things they're not goals. They're not like, okay, I need to obtain these goals in myself. We already are this. We just have to let the spirit clean out everything that is opposed to our true self, so that this can come out naturally into our awareness. So then we don't have to look and see, okay, am I joyful? Am I tolerant? Am I gentle? Then I think that I'm on the first rung.
Yeah.
The ego is always evaluative.
This would be a dishonest way of being.
The ego is always evaluating where you're at, not wanting you actually to get there, sabotaging us, you know, every chance it gets. But we can relax and know that this is certain, this is true. And there's nothing that I have to make better in myself. Because the idea of betterment comes from the ego, because the ego's like, oh, you are shit. You better start doing something so that you can start, you know, obtaining these characteristics if you want to be a teacher of God. And of course, it's saying, no, you already are that.
Mm-hmm. See.
You just believe differently. And that's really peaceful, and that's really joyful, and it's, you can go back to the idea of like, oh, okay, then I don't have to do anything. And then the sense of planning goes away.
Really?
Got it. Yeah, she sent me a text like, at what time was? Tell him
know.
the story.
Yeah, no, it was just like one of those moments where you just, and the wonderful thing is that I wasn't even consciously working towards that. It was like all of a sudden, I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, I understand now. I get it. At least a little bit more, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And it's helpful. It was helpful that, and something that is really difficult to explain in words. It just comes and it just feels certain, and it's a knowing that doesn't have words, and to explain it in linear time is difficult, because it comes all of a sudden. And then the idea that we're just watching, or just revising or revisiting a past that never existed, which includes the concept of future. That is very helpful. And from there, the concept of the script is written is a little bit more understandable, or at least I can accept it better.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's not an acceptance of like resignation, like, oh, I have to accept. No, it's like, okay, you know, it's with
Nice.
joy, you know, with joy, I can accept this and I can rest because it's restful. It feels restful, but it's not a restfulness that comes from the body. The mind can rest in that concept.
See?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Clearly spoken.
Anything else?
So you got about
I'm good.
I got what?
3 days before you're out of here?
Today's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah. Like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. 4 days.
4
I
days?
think we leave on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got to go to Albuquerque first thing in the morning. I'll be back around 1, which either I'm not your reader tomorrow, and Adriana or Astrid reads, or we try to squeeze it in before the well-known 5 o'clock hour.
My 5 o'clock.
Yes.
At what time you leave?
I'm going to
You
be
leave
out of
very
here.
early.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get out of here right around 8, actually.
Son las 7 para ti, I think. It's like
Well, we
7
could
or
do it. We could do
Before?
it before that if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
let's see how it goes
Your
because I have
8 is my 10th. No, it's my 11th.
And what's up for you,
Podríamos
Astrid?
hacerlo a las 10. Enseguida después de lo de nosotros.
I don't
What's
know
up
what
for
We
time.
you,
could do it
Astrid?
at 7.
Pero que yo tengo, I have my 7. I have
Yeah, but that's
lo pongo-
9
No,
here.
it's not your 7.
I mean,
It's not
it's
It's
5 here.
9.
your 7.
It would be 5 here. So
It's your 9.
09.
Okay, so then what we do is that we'll connect with you instead of
And then-
Adriana and I connecting, and then after, if we want Adriana and I to
Oh,
connect.
man.
No. Because you and I connect at 8, my 8.
No,
My
nosotros
8.
conectamos your 9.
Okay. Entonces, it will be at 10
Sorry to put so much
with Gary,
confusion into your
which
morning.
is his 7.
Mira, this is.
We're doing great.
I think so
We're
too.
doing songs.
Astrid, follow directions.
We're doing great.
I will follow directions.
It's
Mañana.
Monica, me, and Gary, and we'll be done quickly, one after the other.
Okay.
We don't have to wait 1 hour to get to Gary. We do it immediately after.
Okay. Perfecto.
In fact, I'll just drop out and you girls can continue on.
No, él
No,
está
you want to start with a
confundido.
new video. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, because I can, yeah.
You
Well,
just want to start a new video, but you'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out tomorrow. I will go with the flow.
Be honest.
Gentle.
Gently honest.
I am
Yeah.
going to go with whatever happens.
Right on. Just make sure
And-
Lilo's tranquilized, would you?
I think that I have to look up the medication because maybe I had some other expectation for it.
You're
Well, how long
creating
ago
a
did you give it to
junkie,
him?
though.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué? What?
How long ago did you give it to him?
About an hour and a half ago.
Ooh.
Estás
Yeah, so-
creando un perro pecado.
No, I see the difference, but I think that someone must have been outside or something, and I think that it just maybe just affect, like he'll get calm, but it doesn't make him,
It's not going to put him out.
it's not gonna put him out. Yeah, which is fine. And the thing is that at this point, I'm just like, I'm gonna deal with whatever. I'm not gonna control anything. If he becomes, I think it's enough for him not to go crazy at the airport. If he does go crazy, then I'll deal with that. I'll give him more. I'll give him Benadryl.
You guys, fly out
Vas a
first thing
matar
in the
al pobre
morning?
perro ese.
Yeah. Sí, eso lo pensé. Yeah, our flight leaves around 8 in the morning.
So you don't have to even feed him that morning.
No.
Yeah. And did you feed him before this tranquilizer this morning?
Yes. No.
That may.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I've done everything I know.
Enmayado y endrogado.
Yes, he's gonna be hungry and drugged. No,
Yes.
he always eats late.
Yeah.
He'll be fine.
You just don't want to
Whatever.
drug puppy, you know.
No, yeah, I don't. I just
Carrying him on
want
the
him to.
plane.
Yeah. Yeah, he weighs about 30 pounds.
Yeah, dead weight. You don't want it.
No.
If he trips over his feet, that's fine. But
the thing is that I bought. It hasn't gotten here yet. It's supposed to get here tomorrow. I bought this little it's like a bag for dogs with wheels, and I'm gonna put him in there.
There you
hopefully.
go.
And
Mándame
then
una foto.
I will send you a picture. It'll be hilarious.
See.
It's gonna be a circus, and maybe not, but to me, it's like I'm gonna accept the circus of this world and just forgive it and love it, and it has my blessing, and whatever happens, it'll be perfect, and I'm ready to accept whatever happens.
Maybe you ought to take one of those tranquilizers with Lila.
That is a good idea.
Then ¿quién te va a mover a ti?
It was gonna move me. I'm gonna need a cart to be moved.
Yeah, you at least need a shopping cart. I'm gonna use a shopping cart.
Just have fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Make a documentary.
Make a documentary of
make a documentary about the process and the things and the stuff. Sure. For forgiveness. Only for fun and forgiveness. And then you can show it here. And we can put it on YouTube through our meeting and laugh together.
I'll do that and send it to you guys. No matter
what is happening, you'll be having all this laughter around the whole situation that you won't be able to get caught in any condemnation. It will be just for the documentary of the circus, of the travel, and the healing, of course.
And then I'll be documenting it. Nothing will be happening. Nothing's happening. It's gonna be a boring documentary.
And to be creating something. By the way, Elizabeth I sent the flash drive that I sent you to the same day. And she's over in Kauai and she got hers yesterday. So I have to assume that you should be getting it.
Yeah, I'll get it before I leave. I'm pretty certain of it. I've had delays in mail. For example, I ordered stuff before Christmas, way before Christmas.
Yeah, you were saying.
And I'm still getting. I got something yesterday that I ordered. I think, I don't know, on the 10th of December. So it's it's just being patient, and whatever gets here.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then if it gets here after, my my stepdaughter is gonna come by and check our mail, and
yeah. And then it'll take another 2 months to get there.
It'll get here.
I
when we.
I have no issue with it. I'm making joke. I'm making laughter. Don't take my laughter away.
So Elizabeth lives in Hawaii. That's what I heard.
Whining?
Hawaii.
Hawaii. Yeah, Elizabeth's in Kauai, on the island of Kauai.
Okay. So she leave you and move to Hawaii?
No. Well, she's got friends over there, so she's just hanging out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely way to hang out.
Yes, it is. Very lucky. So.
Lovely. Yeah,
All
have
right.
a good day, and we will see you like at 7, your 7 tomorrow, okay?
I'll be
Be
with
gentle.
headlights on.
No,
Huh?
you be gentle.
I will.
You be gentle. That's it.
Very.
Lo amo. Bye.
Love you both. Be well.